I don't know about you, but for me, sometimes when it comes to kind of praying to God, sometimes even though I know God knows, but obviously we know that God knows everything about us, He knows when we're struggling and stuff, but He still wants us to talk to Him. And sometimes I will feel that my problems are minor compared to other people, which I mean, it's one of those relative things, but maybe God doesn't want to hear it because He's kind of like fed up because you have this same issue over and over again. But actually, no, God is a merciful God. And in Deuteronomy chapter 4 from verse 30, it says, when you are in distress and all these things come upon you in the latter days, when you turn to the Lord your God and obey His voice, for the Lord your God is a merciful God. He will not forsake you, nor destroy you, nor forget the covenant of your fathers, which He swore to them. And notice there He says that God is a merciful God. He always wants to hear from us. In the end, sometimes maybe things that stops us from being 100% truthful with God, even though it shouldn't anyway, because He sees us when we are literally struggling. He's sad for us. When we cry, He cries with us. When we are happy, He's happy with us. Well, that kind of thing. But He just wants that conversation with us, and then during that conversation He may have a word for us during the situation, or sometimes we don't even hear anything from Him during these hard situations, but He's still there and He's still listening. Sometimes the noise can be so loud that it feels that He's not there, but actually He is there, and He listens to us and He cares for us, and everything we do in our lives, He wants us to share it. And it reminds me of one time in church where the pastor he was talking about how he knew somebody who would literally have a conversation with God, like all the time, like tell Him literally what he was doing, and he's like from from hour to hour. And that's what God wants us to have, that relationship with us. He doesn't want us to fear Him or be ashamed. Be ashamed if we are struggling, and for example, with a sin, or if we're struggling with something. He doesn't want us to feel so ashamed and so guilty that we don't go to Him for help, or we don't put our burdens on Him because we're too ashamed. No, He wants us to come with Him. As long as we obey His word, He wants to hear everything from us, and He wants to help us obey His word as well. So don't feel that don't feel that you have to have this whole kind of, you have to have everything put together, basically, that you have to be completely put together to have a conversation with God, because you don't have to. He's there to carry our burdens. He's there to help us. He's there to comfort us. He's everything. He's everything. So don't forget that God is a merciful God, and He wants to hear from you.